All right. All right, so if you guys didn't know who I am by now, my name is Phil Daru. I'm the head strength and conditioning coach at American Top Team. I am also the director of strength and conditioning for the Fight Science Institute with Tony Ricci, Corey Peacock, and Chris Algieri. Up with my certifications there, got my bachelor's in exercise at Alabama State University. After that, I started my professional career as a fighter. I was a fighter for 8 years. Got pretty much concussions along the way. So 8 concussions later, I had to retire at the age of 26. After that, I started a full-time job at American Top Team working with the best in the world. So quick rundown there. I'll give you a little bit more. There it goes right there. So I was nominated the Trainer of the Year award at the MMA or the World MMA Award 2018. Didn't come away with that one. I was a little mad about that, but it's okay. I like Nick Curson. He's a good guy, so he won it. I own my own gym since 22 years old, so I've been training general population. I've been doing boot camps, things like that at a young age. I started training at the age of 19, doing personal training for, regular people, our general public, but also I've been doing strength and conditioning for my teammates when I started at about the age of 20. So I've been working with MMA fighters since I was 20 years old, right? Like I said, all the other stuff, 10 years experience. I also train Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, powerlifting, strongman, everything. Pretty much anything that has to do with strength sports, I've pretty much done it, right? If you ever listen to the podcast me and Mac did, I talked about all the sports that I've done in my life up to now. And I can tell you right now, doing those sports have actually helped me develop the programs for these individuals because I know all those modalities, right? I took the time to actually study each individual sport, and I took the sports mechanisms that we use, and I put it into play that fit the right criteria for that individual, right? That's why having experience in all these different modalities and sports can be beneficial. When I tell coaches that aren't in the sport, that do not have let's say an MMA or a combat sport background, I do know that you should at least train in that sport just to feel what these fighters go through, right? From an energy demand standpoint, but also, from a stress building standpoint, okay? All right, so here's a few of the fighters that I train. This is funny because these 2 girls are fighting tomorrow, but that happens, especially in the sport with the highest level. You're gonna have multiple fighters fighting each other. I have 2 fighters in the same gym right now that are going to fight each other in 2 weeks, and they train back to back with me. So it is what it is. It's a very small group of, it's a small environment, I should say, with the fighters, you know what I mean? So in time, once you develop your base and you learn and you actually grow with your fighters and you bring more fighters that you're working with, just know that this may happen, right? All right, so what we'll go over: programming, periodization for combat sports, performance, exercise transferability for sport-specific skills optimization. We're gonna work on programming aerobic demands for the mixed aerobic system sport like MMA. Bioenergetic demands, have to make sure we're putting it into place properly. Auto-regulation and structured deloads, which is going to be important for progression, if we didn't know that already. Assessment protocols, identifying weak points and dysfunction. Now this is going to be going into the art of coaching primarily, and also the science of the art of coaching. Efficient coaching cues for getting the most out of your athlete, right? That's tactile cueing, that's internal, external cueing, everything encompassing to get these guys ready to go. And also reframing, and I'm going to talk more about that later on, okay? Then the art of coaching, creating buy-in or trust in your program, okay? With fighters, primarily, they don't like to do strength training, if you guys know this by now, especially Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioners, those type of guys, boxers. It's kind of a misnomer. They do not like it because they think that they're going to get slower for some reason. So we have to make sure we reframe those particular modalities that we're going to give them that are going to actually work inside their sport of play. And if we can make sure that we can coordinate that, or I should say communicate that with the athlete or fighter, how it's going to benefit them from their sport, they're going to buy into that situation. I'll show you some details there later. Okay. All right, who knows this guy? This is my movie right here. But the movie's good, but I like the quote even better, right? What we do in life echoes in eternity. So basically what I'm trying to accomplish each and every day is trying to set my legacy for my life and for my kids, right? So everything I do in life, I'm trying to be the best at it. I'm trying to increase my level of equity in my life, right? So what I want to do is each and every day I want to get better. I want to grow. I want to help people like yourself, right? And I do that by getting myself better. That makes sense? So in general, you guys showing up today shows me that you're trying to be encompassing this, right? You're trying to be better. You're trying to leave a legacy. You're trying to help people, because if you didn't, you wouldn't be here. People that aren't here, they're missing out, right? And it doesn't have to be with me. I'm talking about in general every day, right? The main thing that I want to get through in life right now, to be honest with you, is to help you guys. And at the end, if I can help as many people as possible, then I did my fucking job, right? And that's what coaching is all about. There's a difference between coaching and being a trainer. A trainer, who knows what a trainer is, right? And I'm talking about like a personal trainer or like exercise trainer. What's the difference between a coaching and training, or coach and a trainer? Do you guys know? Just put your hand. You didn't know. You don't know? Okay. Coach actually teaches. A coach actually is there for that individual. A trainer just counts sets and reps. Okay? If you're trying to be a coach, you have to be there for that individual. I had a guy last week, lost his fight. He's 0-3, right? Very good fighter, but he just lacks certain abilities. Great athlete. Literally cried on my shoulders. I had to sit there for about an hour and a half consoling this kid, making sure that he understands that he is better than what his record shows. A trainer would have been like, good job, kid. All right, man, you're going to have to get out of here and leave, right? A coach doesn't do that. They go the extra mile. They spend that time to do what they need to do to get that fighter or to get that athlete better, right? So you have to separate yourself from the word trainer. And I don't mean physical therapist or athletic trainer. I mean just going in there, counting your sets and reps. Oh, you did good, and be out, right? That's not what we do here, man. I get offended when somebody calls me a trainer. I do. I'm a fucking coach, man. It's not, I don't leave the gym and it's over. I leave the gym and I got still more things to do. My shit evolves around everything that goes into athletic performance. Getting your guys better and progressing is my key goal in life. And if you don't like that, if that's not your thing, you're not a coach. Stop right now. Just collect your paycheck and count your sets and reps, and then be out and go have fun. Go play with your friends, whatever. But that's not the case. If you're a coach, you're constantly trying to evolve and trying to help your athlete out as much as you can. Just want to get that through to you guys, okay? All right, so why is programming important? Without a plan, we plan to fail. I know you guys have probably heard this before, but a lot of the times this has to be talked about in MMA, because a lot of the times, quote unquote trainers or somebody that's working with fighters, they just throw shit at the wall trying to make it stick. There's no real plan. There's no periodization scheme. There's no system in place. And that's a problem, because you don't know how well they're going to progress from week to week, day to day, and they're ultimately probably going to overtrain, right? So we're trying to minimize that, right? We're building a structure of purpose to initiate a stimulus response, okay? This is basic periodization scheme models, right? Creating a block of sequence that have a focus point, right? So we're trying to make sure that each block has a focus of a modality that we're trying to attain, right? To get a short-term response, but a long-term adaptation. Okay. We're also creating a solid roadmap to identify fatigue and progressive actions. So that also comes with autoregulatory tools like HRV, but we'll talk about later. But If you don't have the means of that technology, you have to be able to understand what that fighter or athlete is going through. And you can only do that to understand exactly what the systems you put in place. And you should know exactly how bad or how good that's going to affect the athlete.